Hey, welcome back to another video. Today, we got Thomas Sowell. Let's hop right into it. No time to waste. Subscribe, you know what to do. Turn on post notifications. Thomas Sowell had a good last video where he talked about the tariffs. I love that video, so let's get more into Thomas Sowell. Let's keep going.
Yes.
Give a cultural explanation in your book about why Spain was this unique example in history of an imperial power that ruined itself by becoming too rich, simply transforming gold and silver, as you mentioned. And what would that explanation be in your view?
Well, there are lots of possibilities. A number of people who specialize in studying that culture have argued that this is a culture which, one, disdains commerce, disdains manual labor. Lewis Harris has written a couple of books along this line, and there are others. So that if you look at the history of Spanish offshoot societies in the Western Hemisphere, you find them not being very good in those.
Hold on, y'all. Mama Bear on here. Oh, forget it. I mean, you just gonna be here with me then. All right. I'm on your headset, ain't I? Hello?
Huh?
Yeah, I'm doing the reaction, so you're just gonna do it with me.
Alright.
So Thomas Sowell, he's talking about an economy that became too wealthy and lost everything because they were too wealthy. That don't make sense. He said they lost everything because they were too wealthy. Like, y'all write in the comment section what he's talking about, but some of y'all are too dumb in the comment section to even know about what he's even talking about. Y'all just agree with him because it sounds like he don't like black people. But like, in all reality, like, he's not, sometimes he literally makes no sense. And the other day when he did the tariff thing, I was praying that he actually said something negative about tariffs, because tariffs are not, they've never been historically ever proven to be good. So where is Trump getting his information? William McKinley. That's it. And even in William McKinley, I want all y'all Republicans in the comment section to know this, because I know I'm talking to y'all. Y'all gonna be on this video. Did you know every election that a tariff or a tax on the citizens was passed, literally, the Republicans lost for the next 60 years every time? Just saying. So I know why the Democrats ain't saying that now, because they know overall y'all gonna lose. You don't tax the citizens. Like, you just don't do that. But that's way off the point of what he's talking about. So let's keep going.
Those particular areas until immigrants from those parts of Europe, which are good in those areas. And this is why you have the Germans coming into southern Brazil and producing a total monopoly, as it were, of whole industries. You have the Japanese coming in and in various agricultural areas also having a huge predominance, because their whole pattern is very different. And it's more than theorists saying this. The governments of these countries, that is the Spanish governments of these countries themselves try to import non-Spaniards to do things which they thought they would not be able to do. For example, opening up frontiers. In Paraguay, for example, when the Japanese came in, the Paraguayans were absolutely baffled as to the work ethic of these people. The Japanese were equally baffled by the Paraguayans. Particularly with their concept of time. That in Tokyo they have the trains running on the minute, like the Swiss or something. And of course, as the first Japanese immigrants came in, they found the schedule for normal.
Okay, so he's talking about the book Conquest and Culture. So South Americans have always struggled with poverty because of conquest with culture. Conquest and culture. Never mind. I might say it at the end of the video. Depending on what he say. Just keep in mind though, while we listen to him, that he learned from Milton Friedman. And anybody who learned from Milton Friedman was a genius when it came to economic policy. But Milton Friedman definitely believed in the invisible hand. And I would concur that the invisible hand is effective if greed didn't exist. It would be effective if greed didn't exist. But because greed exists.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, my bad. 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 My Yeah, but because greed exists, there's no way for the invisible hand to actually do what it needs to do. So I think economic policy is always needed that the government can implement, that can defend certain, or like, I guess that's when the tariff is good. I don't know, but government regulation is always screwed up everything. Like when you allow the free market to be the free market, economies do good. I don't know. I'm thinking all over the place because I know he's talking about something totally different, but he always has my brain turning when it comes to economics.
Relationship to when they would actually get there, that the train would stop and the engineer would get off and talk to all his friends in the village and catch up on what had been happening and how the passengers sat on there and fretted. So there are these.
Y'all notice it's like he mumbles when he talks. Speak with your chest, man. You black. Smile. I'm just playing. What's that song? I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. That's how you know I ain't engaged with this at all. I'm over here singing songs. Let's keep going though. He gonna say something I'm gonna engage with eventually.
Huge kinds of differences. Someone mentioned what I'll call the Celtic fringe, simply because I don't consider myself a scholar in that area. If you look at migrations, most of those migrations are from very specific places in one country to very specific places in other countries.
Yeah.
That is, people did not simply come from Britain to the United States or from Italy to Australia. They came from one little area of Britain and settled in one little area of the United States. And so the people who settled in New England were very different, radically different from those who settled, let's say, in Virginia and other parts of the South. They spoke differently. Their whole ethos was different. And that was all transferred. One of the other curious things...
He's wrong, actually. No, like, he's genuinely wrong. Like, the people who migrated into the first 13 original colonies, where the southern states were first ever... The first anything of the southern states were all from Britain. They were all British. They weren't a bunch of different groups of people. A bunch of different groups of people did come to the United States. The Spanish came, the French came, the Dutch came, the British came, but the 13 original colonies were the British. You could say that we've had more parliament influence over our democracy than anything else. So I don't see the point of telling people like, oh yeah, like one group came from Britain, a certain part of Britain. It's irrelevant. Like, you know, I mean, unless there's something more to what we're supposed to be talking about here that I'm losing. But I don't know. Y'all jump in the comment section and y'all will jump my ass, man. Y'all some haters. Just know that. And you know, y'all wanna know something? I don't even read y'all shit. My girl reads it. I don't read none of y'all shit.
Things I discovered is that many cultural features die out where they originated, but survive where they're transplanted. And in the United States, one of the curious examples is the style of speech. Of course, before you had the transportation revolution, you had much more regional dialect. But you also had, as time went on, a deliberate effort to standardize the English language so that when people began to move from Liverpool to London, they'd be able to know what people were talking about in London. And so in England, many of these ways of talking died out while they continued on in the South. And then as education spread in the South, first to whites and then to blacks, it began to die out among whites and lastly among blacks. And so today you have a whole way of talking, which is ironically called Black English, which is a direct descendant of what was said in various parts of England from which white Southerners came, and which are usually nowhere to be found anywhere in Africa.
Interesting. So the dialect that we have, basically from what he's saying, doesn't come from us. It comes from white people from Britain. Okay. Ooh, I don't know what that did for any of y'all, I guess, because y'all be wanting to think y'all created some kind of culture. But like, you didn't. I'm just playing. I love y'all white people. I love y'all. Y'all know what to do. Subscribe, all kind of stuff like that. And yeah, Thomas Sowell's definitely a genius. I like listening to him talk. He has some good thoughts on some things. But I think that video was kind of chopped a little bit up too much because it really didn't explain South Americans. I wonder if this meant to say Southern Americans. He said it says South Americans, but it didn't talk anything about anything that happened in South America. Anyways, but maybe he did, and I missed it. But y'all, anyways, I'm out. Peace.